Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eva Klinkert. I'm the head of marketing at Archipel Academy. Can everybody hear me right? Yeah? Perfect. Okay. Today I want to talk to you about the 6 reasons or the 6 most common reasons why corporate learning often fails and how we can fix it. But before we dive into the subject, I would like to tell you that we are a all-in-one learning platform, but that wasn't our heritage. We actually founded many years ago. We are a big training provider in the Netherlands, and we were learning consultants, and we saw these challenges, and we saw also that we couldn't fix it by just offering more trainings because the challenge was too big. And so basically we were learning consultants, and we evolved into an edtech company, which is now completely separate from the other company. But we have a real understanding of the market, and it's a different approach. So let's take a dive into it. And I'm sorry, I'm not a native English speaker, so if I make mistakes or say funny things, please forgive me. But society is subject to continuous change. We see it everywhere. I mean, the way, for instance, Apple changed telecommunication is massively, because it's not about making a phone call anymore, it's about the way we interact as human beings with each other. Same goes for cars. It evolved into a mobility instead of just driving A to B. And same goes for the way we work together. It's not, definitely due to the coronavirus, it takes a huge step forward in remote working and different ways of finding each other. So we see new ways of working because of the coronavirus, but also due to evolvement. And we see that people are transitioning to different professions. We need to upskill, reskill, because the society is changing. The things we need are changing. And the same goes for the way we learn. For instance, when I look at my son and daughter, they are 9 and 11, they find it strange that they have to learn the same way as I did many years ago. But yeah, it didn't really change. So when we look at education, lots has changed, but when it comes to education, it's still the same. British imperialism brought the current educational school system to the world. But when we take a look at the picture to the left of 1945 and to today, then that's not much of a difference. And I find it very interesting. There was actually a column last week about a 14-year-old girl who wrote a letter, and she said, why do I have the same subject as my parents did 30 years ago, where there is now tooling to learn languages. I don't need to learn languages. Why don't I get to be taught Java or Python or different kind of languages? But there's still lots of work to do. So we can state that disruption has massively transformed our lives. But when it comes to education, we're still at the beginning of this disruption, whereas the other sectors and parts of our lives changed and evolved quickly. So now, with that in mind, I want to take you into the 6 L&D challenges we as learning consultants encounter in the corporate world, and how we took those challenges and thought outside of the box on how to fix it. So the first one is employees get lost. Either there is no learning platform, or when there is a platform, it might have a bad user experience or interface, and it's still very difficult for people to find the right training, because searching for training and finding the right one which is right for you are two different things. Learning costs are too high. We see that most corporates have very difficult issues around their budget. It's not easy for them to persuade the board to invest in their people, and they have limited buying power. So, yeah, they have to pay premium prices for content and licenses. The third challenge is that learning is not personalized. So we see, for instance, lots of trainings like leadership trainings, and it's the same for everyone. So we compare it often to a car wash where everybody has the same program, but I'm not sure, but for me, for instance, I like being in a class with other people, learning from people, but the new generation, they want quick, easy fixes, and they want to learn every day, maybe 10 minutes or half an hour, but no more. And the lack of AI, which is very helpful in this to narrow it down, is in most corporates an issue. The other challenge is inefficient processes. So we see that corporates have very big HR departments, L&D departments, and instead, especially for L&D, instead of being busy every day with the corporate strategy and create a learning environment, they are busy with the process of searching, booking, and organize the training, and they don't have insight whether more people are attending or want to attend the same kind of training. So they can't do it in-house, for instance. And if they knew it up front, then it would have been possible. So it's very, most people are working not on the right things they should actually do to build and create a good learning culture. The fifth one, no data to navigate. So there is a lack of insight, and I talked about the board earlier. We see that it's difficult to persuade boards sometimes to invest in their people, but if you could have the data, then you could have also, then you can show what is your ROI on the KPIs, for instance, you have as a L&D department. High maintenance. When I look here in the UK, and I'm not sure if it's true, I see a lot of LMS systems, but it basically are empty shelves. So you do have a data management system which cover all the data, but you still have to fill it with content, and it's still high maintenance. And takes a lot of time for HR. So these were 6 of the challenges. And now I'm curious if you recognize any of these obstacles. So if you go to the QR code, you can, if you want, and then I'll give you a bit of time, and I can drink something, flush down the nervousness. Everybody now is still working on it or checking their email. I'm not sure. Yep. Let's see. We live in a digital era, so yes, internet. Let me see. Employees get lost. Scores quite high. Is there somebody who wants to share? No? Because Yeah, everything scores quite high. Is there anybody who disagrees with these challenges? No. Okay. Yeah. So how we solve this cleverly at Archipel. I don't want to give a product presentation, but I have to give you a grasp of how we do it. So I'll keep it to 2 slides and then we move on to a case study of Vodafone Ziggo, because I always prefer to let the clients do the talking. Basically, we are an all-in-one learning platform. That's how we call it. It's an LXP, LMS, but it's not just that. We combine it with a content marketplace and with learning service or managed services, how you call it, which contains also consultancy, but also the whole administrative process. And the entire content marketplace is filled by us. It's completely AI driven. Combined with machine learning. So it's a very advanced AI. It's actually our octopus. He's very smart. He also helps you out as a person. But we also have learning consultants who actually help you with your learning paths. So there's a huge, how do you say it? You outsource almost everything. And especially our latest proposition, Archipel Unlimited, that's the one I want to talk to you about with our client Vodafone Ziggo. We thought it is our mission to make learning accessible, affordable for as many people as possible. And Vodafone Ziggo was having some issues, which I dive into after this slide. And we said, well, why not do a tryout and make learning unlimited, like Netflix, like Spotify. And we just ask 1 fee per employee per month, and they can do all the trainings they want. So this was a tryout with Vodafone Ziggo. And the CHRO, he called it also, this is the way forward, the Netflixification of learning and development. And Vodafone Ziggo is all about creating a flexible, sustainable, lifelong learning environment. And the people there, they had 3 important challenges, and they said, Archipel, can we talk about the next step in learning, a disruption moment? And we created this together with them, the unlimited proposition. Their 3 most important challenges they had was that they had a very fragmented learning offer. It's a huge company in the Netherlands. I'm not sure how big it is here in the UK, but it's very big in the Netherlands, like 10,000 employees. For the Netherlands, it's very big. I also understand that it's may be different here in the UK. They had a highly complex administrative process, so they had lots of people in their departments working on all these trainings, and they wanted to have more control over the L&D budget. So we created unlimited proposition with them, and it was kind of scary because we didn't know either whether it would be a downfall for us or it was searching for the right move. Now, this was it started just around the time that the coronavirus had entered, and now we also have some numbers to share with you. One of the things was that 60.9% of the people who are working there followed 1 or more training courses since the start of unlimited learning. That was a huge step forward because it was, I think, around 20% in the beginning. So a big step up. So people they were a bit too enthusiastic because they could also go knitting or yoga or whatever. So some people were so enthusiastic they were following 10 courses at the same time. They said, okay, we have to put that a bit down. And now 78 of the trainings are focused on the current position they're in. So they are really growing as a team, as individuals, and and they see that they have corporate strategy KPIs, and now they can apply it to to their focus. Very bad English, sorry. And 14.5% of the trainings are focused on the development of employees. But we also saw some added effects. For instance, a safer working environment. We didn't anticipate it in the beginning of it, but because of we have a compliancy system in it, and people are now 100% compliant all the time because they get an alert, and that was a problem. They afterwards encounter, we didn't know we had that problem, but now we're aware of the effect of it. They saved at least 4 full-timers by outsourcing the development, so their department now has actually the time to focus on their strategy, on implementing and working and building because they didn't lose the people, but they could have, but they kept the people. But now these people are working on creating their own e-learnings, creating learning paths for different kind of teams. So it's evolving, and people finally got more time to do what they are actually were hired for. And another one is also very interesting. It's one of the outcomes was that they saw that unlimited learning had a positive effect on employee retention, but also in attracting new talent. There were one of the 4 people who are applying for a job states afterwards that unlimited learning, or all you can learn, is one of the propositions they is one of the things they chose VodafoneZiggo for. So that's interesting. And of course they had a very high cost reduction on business critical learning programs, because they now have just one fixed price, one bill every month, and that's it. And they have more control over the things. So this is what I had to say about VodafoneZiggo. I think it's important to always keep evolving, especially in our line of work, and always to look for the insights. I'm from marketing. I'm not from L&D. I came from an advertising agency working for Archipel. But one of the things I do as a marketeer is always look for the insights. What are the problems, and how can we fix it? For us, it was this platform to be, but it's just a vehicle. It's just a vehicle. You have to understand and really grasp the market and the struggles of your team. Are there any questions? No questions at all. Yeah. Sorry?
What do you offer in unlimited learning?
Everything. The question was, what do you offer in unlimited learning? We actually offer the entire content which is set out with the client, and everything in the our content. Yeah, broad, total broad, everything. Yeah. So we have an agreement. So our content marketplace, you can compare it with Booking.com. We are like a Booking.com, so we have a huge content marketplace. We talk to training providers, and they deliver the content, and we buy the content, we manage the content, etc. But we're a broker. Yeah. But everything is so that's why it was also scary for us to try this out. Yeah. Are there any other questions? No? If you're interested in the presentation, we, we can give you, and in some more data, we can scan your badges at our stand if you want, and we can send it over to you. Because we have also a larger client case, for instance. So if you want to build a business case for your board, please come over to our stand and we're happy to help you. We're just a bit over there, stand 22. I thank you so much for your time. I hope it was insightful, and I wish you a very lovely day.